All right, we are live. Greetings, fellow traders. Let me get this tweeted out so everybody can join in here. 1 second. Awesome. Good. All right. Well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today. So, some interesting action today. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But before we get going here, today we're going to be continuing our conversation on day trading earnings season strategies. And today we're going to be talking about candles, so special candles that we can use to help us to trade with some of the methods we've already talked about. So really cool stuff. So before we do that, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome. All right, so we're going to take a look and see where we left off in the market today, and then we're going to take a look at futures and see where we're at tonight, and see what we might have in store going into tomorrow morning. And then we are going to go over the topic and then take questions and chart requests. So let's get started here. So here we are, SPX. Up 29 points today, but it was kind of a wild, choppy day today. Monthly chart's nice and green right here as it's approaching the prior month's high, right? And we've already actually tagged those levels here on the weekly chart, and we tagged them again today. So it shows it's trying to inch its way up here this week, right? We've got 2 more trading days this week, so let's see if it can push its way up here, and then see how close it can get into this gap zone right here, which we're inching our way up there. We're getting close. Daily chart, okay. So pretty interesting stuff, right? So we gapped up today, we left with a doji. So we had a pretty decent candle yesterday, bounce off the fresh upward trend line, right? Pause day today, so let's see if that turns into a doji sandwich tomorrow and gives us a move up and, really tries to get into that gap. So we'll see how that goes going there. Now, it could be a reversal doji. We might come back and retest the trend line and then make another move up. Or, we'll see what happens. It could break down below trend line, gives a fresh trend box, and then see how it handles, the cloud and stuff like that down there. But in general, still going strong no matter what. So good stuff. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at the price action here intraday today. So it was a pretty interesting day, right? We had a nice gap up today. This is really cool, guys. Today was just kind of like a standard day, right? So it was a Wednesday, middle of the week. We had kind of a choppy day. And look what it did, right? We gapped up, we had a nice move, nice gap up at the open, and then we just kind of chopped around that 15 orb range for a little bit. Tried to do a breakout, couldn't make it, right? And they give me this outside bar right here, which brought us down. So we were able to short through here a couple different times. We looked at some other names that were moving at the time, Apple, Microsoft, things like that, and a little bit of SPY. And got some nice moves down there today. And look what it did. Filled the gap, like almost to the tick, right? Yesterday's high was 3,295 cents. Today's low was 3,276 cents. So basically almost just 20 cents there. Filled the gap, and then it worked its way up. Kind of a grindy move up here. We had a nice candle here, and then it kind of came back, tested that hammer level right there, and then worked its way up. Just kind of a grindy type move. Another nasty candle right there, and then it worked its way up a little bit higher. And that was about it, right? So we had another sharp move down, and then a sharp move up at the end of the day, but we didn't have quite as big an MOC at the close that we had yesterday, right? We had a huge close yesterday, and today was just kind of so we'll see how it goes. We got some of the earnings that were out today. We'll take a look at a couple of those, look at some examples, and just kind of see what we could see. So good stuff there. These are the levels that we provide to members before each market opens. So let's take a look here. Okay, so again here, gap up today, right? Held yesterday's highs, yesterday's lows, filled the gap. Chopped around. This volumetric level turned out to be a pretty key level right here. Breakdown right here to get back to the next level. Hammer off of that level, back up to the next one. So choppy action, but some tradable candles in a scalpy type way. So good stuff. So a lot of whipsaw action, really fast move down, right? Choppy move up, just whip, and then a fast move up and then down. So kind of fascinating action today, but at least there was some opportunities today. So good stuff. So let's take a look at the futures and see what they're up to here this evening. So futures is kind of blah here. It's kind of drifting down, right? So we can actually see this is the 15 orb on the ES here from today. So this was the 15 orb high rate. You can see the exact same, very similar movements right here. Now what's pretty cool here is we provide these levels to our members here. These are what we call our signal zones, right? And you can see how important they are, right? They become general areas of resistance and general areas of support, right? So we came back up here, back to the signal zone, back up to this signal zone right here, and you can see after hours we're just kind of testing these levels again. So just basically a lot of back and forth so far tonight. So let's take a look and see what we have in store for tomorrow. So we can kind of stretch a geometric line right here. We can stretch a geometric line right here. Okay, so we're basically triangulating into tomorrow. So these are going to be some very key levels for us to look at going into the rest of the evening and into the morning tomorrow. So let's see how that holds. If we break down below here, we got some levels here and here, right? If we start to work our way up, we were able to break out here. Well, we've got these levels right here. We start to get closer to that open gap on the SPX. So we'll see how that goes throughout the night here. So very, very interesting. A lot of interesting news here after hours too, right? We had Twitter got compromised, and so that's gonna be an interesting one to look at too. We should put that on. Let me actually get this pulled up here before we even look at it. I'm just gonna put that on the 15 orb list for tomorrow too. So that should probably get a little bit of action tomorrow. So let's see here. Where is that? Where do we go? There we are. Okay, so so we'll put Twitter on the short side tomorrow. We'll put a 15 orb, but yeah, so it could be pretty interesting with that. We'll see what they do with that, and then go from there. So good stuff. All right, well, let's take a look at the topic here for this evening, and as we continue our conversation here on day trading earnings season strategies. So today we're going to look at some key candles, right, that we that help us when we're trading earnings, especially with that increased volatility. We've talked about these a little bit in the past, but let's review them here tonight. So let's take a look. So what do we have for earnings today? Well, the two big ones we had today were Goldman Sachs and UNH. So let's take a look at those and see how those look, and then we'll kind of go from there. All right. So let's take a look at Goldman Sachs here today. So Goldman Sachs actually had a beat on earnings today. It was a really nice move. And one of the things that we like to look at, right, we talked about yesterday, right, so a couple things we the 15 orb, right, so we got those levels already included in here, right, and the other thing we talked about is these pre-market levels, right, so if we have this pre-market high, pre-market low, those are important levels, so we were contained really within the pre-market range today. So again, kind of choppy stuff here, but one clue that we had today is using the candles, right, so if we go to a lower term time frame, right, let's check out the 3-minute chart right here. So if we go to lower term time frame right here, we start to see some more interesting things. If we go to the 2-minute chart, let me see if I can just find the exact one on this one. We like the 3-minute chart. The 2-minute chart is good. The 3-minute chart is good as well. So we get some very, very interesting stuff, right? So you can see here at the open, what we start to see is rejections of these pre-market levels, right? So one, we pushed up here and we failed to get any higher, right? And then when we started to get to the open today, what do we get? Upper shadows, right? So upper shadows off the pre-market levels. We really love the ones that give us an upper shadow here, particularly on a 3-minute chart, but 2 minutes okay too. 5 minutes okay too, but a little bit more extended. You don't get as much, it's harder to catch the faster move on it. But with these upper shadows here are all rejecting the pre-market highs, right? So that implies, especially after earnings, that it probably wants to maybe test a little bit lower, or at least try to form a little bit of a lower type level. So you can see here off of this 15-minute candle, this 15-minute high right here, we got a nice inside 2 right here, and that kind of gave started that move down, right, down, sideways, bear flag, and then down, right? So if we go to if we take a look at UNH today, there's another one. So UNH, we were hoping, right? We were hoping at one point that we could gap above this 315.84 level, right? So we had a pretty good beat on earnings on those, but if we got above there, then what would we do? We'd look for a gap and go on that, right? So sometimes we get a gap and go. We don't have a recent example of those here with this earnings season, but if we get to that gap and go level too, a lot of times we look for a nice hammer candle that tests the bottom of the pre-market lows, right? So if we go here, right, we look at the 2-minute chart on UNH, well, what do we get here? We got a big hammer candle right here, right? Hammer time, right? It wasn't quite at the pre-market lows, but it held, right? Tried to push a little bit, came back down one more time, nice lower shadow off of that zone, right? And then it worked its way up, right? And we got a nice 15-orb break right here, strong candle, right? Consolidation, right? And then a little bit more to the upside. So just really, really beautiful stuff there. And then, of course, it came back down to the 15-orb low, give a couple candles right here, and then worked its way up. So these can be really, really helpful, guys, when we're trading earnings. So on the lower term time frames, 2-minute chart, 3-minute chart, a lot of times you can see a nice hammer, that's testing. We really like to see if we get a lower shadow below the pre-market low, or in the case of Goldman Sachs, an upper shadow above the pre-market high, and we can catch some nice reversals off of those, or the gap and go, right? So which leads us to the gap and go. So pretty cool stuff here too on UNH. Look what it did. It came right back up to the pre-market highs, right? Just kind of consolidated there, upper shadow, upper shadow, upper shadow, upper shadow, upper shadow. See ya. Right, so just kind of, just wait for the price action to tell you what's going on, right? If we had a breakout candle right there, we'd look to take it long, but instead here we had a breakdown candle, right, and that brought us back down to the 15-orb high. It tried to do a bounce, failed, and then it came back down and tested the 15-orb low, right, retested again, and then back up to the 15-orb high at the end of the day. So pretty cool, right? How it ties all together, ties all those together, and a lot of times those candles key candles, hammers, shooting stars off of the pre-market highs and lows, and then you could also use upper shadows and lower shadows on the lower term time frames, 3-minute chart, 2-minute chart, to kind of confirm that, right? To see if it makes sense. Okay, of course we look for volume. We use our other techniques with that, but this is a really, really cool tool to use, especially on these big kind of gap days where we get a little more volume and a little more action on these names. So good stuff. That's all for candles today. So at this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to play those in the chat window. We'll get through as many as we can and try to wrap up as early as possible so we can all have a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow. So let's take a look. So Scott sent one in via Twitter. So let's take a look here. Let's look at Delta Airlines. So Delta, wow, guys. So the airlines today. Let's see if it puts up our little line. Yeah. So here's our geometric line right here. So look what we did. We face planted into that geometric line from from earlier yesterday after earnings, right? And then what did it do today? Just a complete reversal, right, guys? That's a professional gap. Well, if this were a red candle, it'd be a super professional gap up. But this is a professional gap up today, right? Came back down and held those levels, and then continued to work its way up, right? So some good strength on that one. So again, gapped up. And look what we got there. Lower shadow at the 15-hour low, worked its way up to the 15-hour high. Lower shadow at the 15-hour low, and then worked its way up and then held the 80 MA up for the rest of the day. Right, so beautiful stuff right there. So we're drifting down a little bit after hours. I think like UAL, one of the other airlines right here, UAL did so one of these guys did like an offering or something like that, or a debt offering. Let's see if it shows up in this this little news brief right here. Yeah, American Airlines. So AAL said 25,000 workers going on furlough, right? So I mean, these guys are struggling. They had a big move today because of the mRNA, the nice gap up after the mRNA vaccine news, right? And that really helped these names get a good move to the upside, right? So we'll see. We'll see if these furlough news, and I think UAL. Pretty sure I heard them say that they were doing like some sort of offering tonight. As well, so they got a little bit of a boost after the close, and then they just kind of retreated after that fresh news came out. So very, very interesting stuff. Before we go any farther, I just want to take a look at Twitter right here. Okay, so we saw this in the group today. We saw Elon Musk got hacked. It turns out like a bunch of other accounts got hacked as well, and interesting that anyway, so pretty cool stuff right here. But intraday, right? Nice little megaphone right there. But yeah, so keep an eye on Twitter tomorrow. This should be pretty active tomorrow, based on that information, right? If they can't get that, can't get that straight. So anyway, just something to keep an eye on there. It's still below its geometric lines on the daily chart. So good stuff. Shirley sent a few in via email, so let's take a look at those. EXPE. So a lot of these names, the travel names, airlines, cruise lines, a lot of those got a nice pop today because of the Corona cure stuff from mRNA, right? So again, Expedia, it's got a nice move right there, right? It kind of gave a little bit of a breakout candle here above this prior geometric line. So let's see if we can push above those highs right there and get to that 200-day on that one. Win, right? Casino is another one of the kind of go-to names on these. Inside day up on that. Again, some increased volume here, so that might get a little follow through on the casinos there. Let's see if we can get out of the cloud on that one. MAR. Okay, here's another kind of Corona name right here, 2 hotels, right? So, failed to break down really too much right there. But again, maybe some sort of like head and shoulders type pattern in the works. Maybe it'll come up, come down, and then, maybe it'll work its way down after that. So, again, kind of a breakout candle there, but a little bit on a tight triangle. So, see if we can get some follow through. Just keep an eye on today's highs on that one. TEL. Okay, so, did I write that down right? Yeah, so TE connectivity. Yeah, so nice breakout candle on that one. Good volume. Right, I like how it popped above the 200-day moving average. That's a good thing for it. Left you a gap below there, but see if you can get some follow through to the upside on that one. I like the volume that came in there. And then FIS. Really still a super duper tight range on this one here. You got kind of a big geometric line from that level, and then you got this one right here that it worked its way above. So not really a lot of, the risk reward's a little bit tricky on that one, so just be careful there on that. So, but big triangle. I'd like to see a little more volume and a little bit bigger candle get out of this level to see if this thing really wants to get going. So good stuff. Appreciate it, Shirley. ZEK, what's going on? Good evening. Thanks for tuning in. Penn and the casino names. That's it. Now that is a candle right there, right? So looking pretty good. Oh, there it is. We already got that line. So yeah, so nice breakout of this triangle here. So you get some confirmation or maybe a doji sandwich going on to see if we get some further upside on that one. But yeah, nice breakout move on there. J&J. Yeah, a little bit of pullback there today after yesterday's cloud breakout candle. So let's see if it consolidates or can try to push above today's high. BE. Oh yeah, Bloom Energy, nice one right there. That's a breakout candle right there. So look at that, pushed over all these levels right here. That's going on the bullish radar anyway, right? For just because I like it. Nice find there on Bloom Energy. We love it. SPCE, I think had some good news after hours. Let's take a look here and see if that's affecting it here. Yeah, so up almost a point after hours. Still kind of coming into this upper shadow right here. I think they what do they have, like some new, like they're saying that they can do stuff now, like they're working on actually doing what they do. Hold on. New CEO, preparation, a commercial service. Okay, poaches Disney stocks for maybe or Disney stuff. So anyway, it's up after hours on this one. Definitely something to keep an eye on and see if that gap holds right there. But we really wanted to get above this guy, which is 2153 ish. So let's see if we can some one day get some high volume to get above that level. Okay, FISB. Let's take a look. Woo! Too many letters. Too many letters. Yeah, nice gap up there today. Rejected by the 50 moving average. So just be careful with that. Here and here, so still triangulating, still kind of hanging out there. It's in the cloud, but a little bit of shadow there. So good stuff. Thanks to UK The Nest. What's going on? Home Depot up a penny today. Wow, big move on Home Depot. A huge move yesterday though. Potential pause day today, so let's see how that goes going into tomorrow. FSLY up 50 cents inside day today, but still below that declining 8 EMA, so a little bit sketchy on there. Etsy. A couple little lower shadows right there, but kind of hanging out towards the lows. Let's see if we can give a another maybe push down right here to tag that trend line, then maybe get a move up on it. And then net. Another inside day, but couldn't get back above the prior upward trend line on that one. So definitely something to keep an eye on there. Good stuff. IBM. Hang on there, gap up there, upper shadow. It's sitting on the 50-day moving average, so it's just kind of camped out there right now. So let's see if they can get any more follow through to the upside. And then ABT. Kind of similar right there. Gap up above these levels. Let's take a look here. Yeah, finally some volume today, but of course we've got earnings coming up tomorrow morning, so that should be interesting as well. We'll go ahead and put that on the 15 orb radar as well. So let's see, ABT right there. Good stuff. Awesome. Good. All right, so Mike, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great day today. Yeah, let's take a look at Amazon. So Amazon was one of the ones that kind of clued us into the market down move, because I just looked up at our watch list and it was down like 80 points. I was like, oh yeah, this is something's going on here, right? So inside day today, it's still kind of holding a couple of these levels, has a lower shadow right here. Inside day, this is where we're kind of looking at right here. It's like, oh, this market's a little bit weak right here, and then it kind of held right after the market itself filled its closing gap and kind of worked its way up. But really kind of choppy, nasty price action today. Be careful with this one. This one's options have just been really just atrocious recently. So huge spreads, very expensive, just kind of blah. So, but yeah, looking a little bit heavy right there. Inside day, see if it breaks down below today's lows and gets another move to the downside. And then JP Morgan, still kind of chopping around, right? So this is day 2, right? So 30-minute range is basically a 15-minute range. It did give a little bit of a breakdown through those levels, retested it down again, and then just that was about it. So just kind of scalpy stuff today. Just kind of blah, still hanging out in the big macro triangle on that one. Too bad on that one. I was hoping for a little bit more action on it. But good stuff. Kim, what's going on? Good to see you. Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, let's take a look at RC. I know. Hopefully, we get some earnings that are ready to move instead of just this gap and chop type stuff. Yeah, RCL guys. So it's a decent move up here today on this one. I like how it's coming up over the cloud here. So getting over a couple key levels, drifting a little bit down after the close, but let's see if that can give another push to the upside going into tomorrow. Run. Yeah, the solar stocks have been really strong recently. This was on our radar yesterday, and we got a nice fall through the upside there today. Low volume, but still made a nice move. Pizza the Hut. Papa John's, yeah, hanging in there, right? Nice candle today, low volume, but definitely bullish, still proven otherwise. And then poor SE. I know what happened. It was the forever bullish, right? Definitely these ones, the FSOI, the SE, these ones that have had these epic runs, have got to get back above that 80 MA, which is declining right now. Okay, let's take a look. Good stuff. Thanks, Kim. Risto, what's going on? DAL, let's take a look. Yeah, nice bounce again off of the that geometric line from yesterday, and drifting down a little bit after hours on the furlough type news, but good volume day, a good move on these ones today. Good stuff. X-Country Kev, Boeing. Yeah, so it's kind of out there, guys. So really cool stuff. Remember we talked about this cloud cliff right here, this canyon, right? That it was like just really just kind of tight roping across there. And we said, okay, let's see what happens if it gets a bounce when it gets to the cloud. Boom, bounce today, right? So this gave us some opportunities intraday. that we pointed out. It's a nice, dip buy on this one here. Kind of worked its way up, give a couple breakout lines, and then it just kind of chopped into the close today. So we'll see what it's got for tomorrow. But decent hammer right there. Let's see, might kind of come back again and pull one more time before it decides to make a real move. So just keep an eye on it. And also look out for news, of course. And then Chewy, Buddy's favorite right there, down to 88 cents here today. Inside day though, and still holding its upward trend line. So we got that going on here. This is a tricky one. It's kind of one of those ones you kind of keep in a swing account and not really look at because you get some crazy shadows on it. But sometimes it is prone to some big intraday moves. So good stuff there. Yeah, my pleasure. Let's take a look. Depend what's going on. Netflix. So earnings tomorrow after the close. Okay, so kind of a choppy day today, but it did give an epic earnings run, from here, right, this breakout candle right here, all the way up here. So it was a huge move on Netflix. Premium super duper high now, spread's pretty high. So let's just, let's see what they have in store for after earnings, right? So maybe they'll have like this blowout numbers like everybody's expected and even beat those on these, subscribers from the Corona and all that stuff. So maybe it could gap above that 575 and give a huge breakout move right here. It's got some crazy levels below. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe it'll gap to the trend line and then, give us a reversal back up. So definitely something we're keeping an eye on for sure. And then FSOI, again, inside day to day, so let's see which way that could break, right? So it's hanging out at the low end of the trend box. ADMA is starting to point down, right? So it breaks down out of that trend box. We got a couple key levels below. We got 70 as a little resistance right there. We got a rally-based rally area right here, the 63 area, and then you got the 50-day like just below 60. So that could be interesting too if if it wants to get weak and the market's weak and the sector is weak and all that. So it could be interesting. So Paul, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Roku, the Nest. Let's take a look. Inside day, so let's see. It's still holding that downward geometric line right there. So let's see if it can continue to hold there and work its way up. It did give a really cool move, guys. It was a choppy doji day yesterday. Right, so triangulated, for the most part, really, and that chop continued into the open, and then it finally said, nope, I'm breaking out right here. So let's see if that gets any follow through the upside tomorrow. I'd like to see it if it could break over the inside day high. Royal, what's going on? Yeah, I hope you had a great day too. So Roku, we just looked at, we got it pulled up right here. So NVAX, let's take a look. So NVAX inside day up and back in the range, so it might want to come back down and test 50% of the range if it doesn't get strong tomorrow. And then Spot, decent candle, came right back into that channel zone. Kroger kind of hanging in there. So inside day here, we need another breakout candle. I did a big candle yesterday, but we needed follow through. We just couldn't get that today. So it's a little bit of a pass on that one. And then Microsoft. Mr. Softy kind of hung in there today. We shorted this one today in the group. This was it was just, it kind of was a little bit weird, right? At the open, it actually had relative strength at the open. Once it lost that, right, this thing got really, really weak. Inside 15 down right here. So that gave us a nice opportunity on Microsoft today too, after Apple. Great stuff. So the next LVGO, let's take a look. LVGO, this is a tough one to keep down. So that ADMA is still hanging in there from yesterday. Nice hammer yesterday. Decent follow-through hammer today. Good stuff. NVTA. Yep, nice move off of that doji day on that one. Crazy doji yesterday at the ADMA. UPS, good gap and go today. Well, good gap and move today, so that was good on that one. Lulu. Still in that consolidation zone right there, so eventually it's going to give us a breakout signal. mRNA, gap and reverse. So it's not earnings day. But let's look what happened. All right, so we wanted to get above here, right? Why didn't we gap and go? Well, let's take a look at the pre-market levels. Because we couldn't get over the pre-market highs, right? So just again, same stuff, right? So just we actually had two pivots right here, which are crazy, right? So pivot right here at the highs, right? We need to clear that to get a gap and go, and then pivot right here. Couldn't even get close to it, right? Upper shadow, nasty candle, rally up to the ADMA, right? Shooting star, down. Right, held its ADMA right here, it came back up again, just kind of chopped in the close. They tried to pump it again after hours. Fauci was talking about it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm cured by the end of the year." And the algos are like, you said that yesterday. We're good. We're not. You can't say the same news twice." And so try to pump it, but anyway, so good stuff there. Beyond, Beyond had a huge spike intraday today, and then it just came back down. Good old Beyond. Right, so just kind of hanging out the cloud below the ADMA on that one. Still just chopping around, just messy. And then vroom. Let's take a look. VRM, looked like it was forming a pause day yesterday and kind of reversed off of that. So not quite a Morningstar reversal, but let's see how that spinning top holds going into that. So good stuff, Paul. What's going on? BAC. Let's take a look. BAC. with a hanging man type pattern right here. So had a nice gap up today, right? Wow, this really does look like a macro bear flag, doesn't it? But hanging man right here. So see what that does. If you push down below the cloud, you got an open gap below, and see if it tests those other levels below on this one too. This one has earnings coming up. Oh, tomorrow morning on Bank of America. Sweet. Thank you. Yeah. So let's add that to the list too. Most of the banks have been doing pretty good with their earnings, all that stuff, except for Wells Fargo. So let's see if that gets any action on that one. Great stuff. Thanks, Paul. Thanks for the reminder. Then as pins, upper shadow there below the ADMA. Just kind of blah. SPCE again. Decent news after hours. Let's see if we can get above these levels right here. What was that? $20 or $21.53. See if we can get above that. JMOS, what's going on? Spot. They had fresh orders in Kazakhstan yesterday, so it gave a little bit of a rally back up in yesterday's candle, and it kind of pulled back down a little bit into that range today, but it's still holding that consolidation zone, right? And then mRNA. So sweet, good job on that one. I know you said you had some calls on that one yesterday, so great job on the gap up there. So good profit take. You weren't the only one who took profit today. So good stuff. Ken, what's going on? ACB. Let's take a look. ACB, good candle right there, good volume. Again, the pot sector was strong today. Let's see if it gets any follow through tomorrow. Threep, what's going on? DCP. Okay, cool. Interesting right here. So maybe not one for options, but definitely a nice candle today. I like how it got through a bunch of these levels here today. Let's even get some confirmation or some follow through in it tomorrow. On this one, this might be interesting to trade with shares. Looks like just make sure your spreads are okay on that one, right? Come up to the top of the cloud. Let's see how that handles it. Good stuff, Heather. What's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Great job today, Apple. Let's take a look. A little bit of a hanging man there, right? But look at that, still holding that ADMA. ADMA is almost like perfectly parallel to the upward trend line. Just super duper bullish still. Again, we were hoping I'm just going to take this one to 1,000. Goodness gracious. But, it's like, why? This thing is like, could buy Tesla like 10 times over, right? And this is, just kind of hanging out. So anyway, hanging man right here. Let's see if we could it push its way up here to try to take that share, get to all-time highs. Let's get it to 400, right? So, but still holding trend. Again, if it does give a pullback, see if it holds that trend line for a low volume pullback, see if we can get another long off of that one. Right? And then we'll stay bullish until proven otherwise on it. And then Tesla. Tesla with an inside day today, right? So it's hanging out there again. Having Elon Musk's Twitter hacked apparently is not super duper good for it. But again, it is just after hours, and it seems like it's down a lot, right? It's down 30 points, but that's like a point on like a normal stock, right? So inside day today. So let's see, it's kind of hanging on to that bump upper trend line. So let's see if we can hold that and push above today's highs and give another move. So good stuff. Yeah, my pleasure. Great job today again, Heather. Michael, what's going on? iBio. Boom! Big move today on iBio. Great move there, right? 245 all the way up to like 398 today. Big upper shadow. Just be careful with that one. But these crazy ones, sometimes can give like some big moves there. FCell, let's take a look. Inside day up, right? So holding on the ADMA. So let's see if that gets some any action on that tomorrow too. Rich, what's going on? Do you think FSLI has finished the wave 2 dip at the 73 low? We should ask Paul on that one. He's here. Let's see. So FSLY, wave 2 dip. I don't know if based on the daily, right? I'm not. Is this really a wave 2? Wave 2. We need to see some sort of ABC. That was a pretty sharp move down. So if anything, that might be a zigzag, right? 5, 3, 5. So it might kind of come back down to the cloud or something like that, and then start going. So we'll see. That's a good question though. Yeah, it just doesn't seem like it's a wave 2. That's too impulsive to be a wave 2, right? At least you have to have some sort of ABC going on there. You could argue this was A, B, C right here, but considering how long it took the impulsive move up, right? So say this is 1, A, B, C, 2, 3, right? However you want to look at it, but yeah. So just kind of see it might have a little more craziness in it. Could be though. Could be. Michael, IBB. Let's take a look. IBB gap up today. Yeah, thanks to mRNA and a couple of ones. AZN was another one that was pretty strong today too. That one actually hung in there as opposed to Moderna, so you got a little more positive stuff going on with it intraday, I think. So good stuff, Michael. Yeah, Docu can't be weak. This thing's forever strong. It bounced off the channel low yesterday. Inside day again, it's below the ADMA right now, so see if we can try to get above that one. If not, it might come back and retest the channel low. And then ZS. yeah, so that's actually above the ADMA right there, so it's still kind of hanging in there, consolidating potentially. Just be careful of that one. Rich target. Let's take a look. Target. Hanging in there. Looks like a big triangle. And what do we do with triangles? We wait. We wait. We wait for a breakout. So just kind of keep an eye, see if it gives another move. But yeah, so retail is a little bit strong today too, so that's good. Venkata, what's going on at APT? Thanks for tuning in. Inside day on APT. Yeah, this one we could chop for a while. Wait for the breakout candle or some news intraday. DLPN. Inside day as well. OPES. Interesting right there. So another acquisition corp type stuff. So see if we can get above the ADMA right there and start going on that one. And then ACI. Okay, Albertson. So Kroger, Albertsons. Yeah, so decent candle yesterday, no volume today, just a big red spinning top off of the ADMA. So kind of blah. Good stuff though. Tracy, what's going on? Good evening. I know, Vio. Hanging on to the ADMA inside day down, but failed to really break down off of that. So just kind of see if it holds that ADMA and where it goes from there. UPS, huge move today. I know you've been tracking this one for a while. Great gap, guys. Range bound, gap above the range. Range bound, gap above the range, right? So got a nice movement right there, and then found a low resistance at this level. So let's keep an eye on see if we can get above today's highs. And then Disney, nice gap up on I guess Corona Cure News and just kind of came back in a little bit here today. Some choppy sloppiness, right? A little bit of 15-hour breakdown right there, but not too much going on. Not a lot of volume in that today. So good stuff. Michael, AMD, let's take a look. Yeah, so AMD still in the chop fest, right? So overall big, big kind of triangulish type thing working on right here, right? So triangle or geo lines. I just let's have this thing break out one of these days and get a move. Other than that, it's just day trades only on that one. GE, decent gap up today into the cloud, so a little bit of action on that one. And then lit with the lithium ion stuff. Okay, so yeah, well, a little bit of pullback. It's kind of hanging out in the prior end of the range. See if we can get into that gap. And then Caterpillar, yeah. So how about Caterpillar being super duper strong yesterday, not really getting any follow through? So what did we say yesterday, right? Let's draw that line right there. So we couldn't really get above this. It got above it right here, but look what it did. Came right into resistance right off of that guy. So tricky stuff. But let's wait for more, wait for more strength and more candles, more volume. So Rob, what's going on? Hope you're doing great too. Thanks for tuning in. So Dexcom, let's take a look here. DXCM. DXEM. Let's see. So yeah, good hammer yesterday. Got back above the prior G line right here. Decent mover there. Low volume. So see if we still try to push over today's highs. DPZ earnings are. I thought they were tomorrow morning as well. Let's take a look. Yep, tomorrow morning too. Oh, we got a few interesting earnings going in tomorrow. Let's see. So there and DPZ. This could be interesting. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to see if it gets gaps above today's high, gaps above these levels, so try to look for a gap and go type move, right? And it is possible that they have killer or excellent pizza deliveries, right? Scratch that. Good pizza deliveries and gaps above these levels right here, and then works to give us a gap and go opportunity. If not, it's good. If it gaps down, we could see it just kind of chop around the signal zone down there, or in the chop zone down there, and then shop till it drops. Right, so down 14 points today, inside day, right? So it's basically, it's working on a trend box type stuff right here. So it's still the chop is still the chop zone right here. So just see how that holds going into the next couple of days. See if there's any clues on that, maybe off of that inside day. Tejas, what's going on? Let's take a look. So NCLH, yeah. So cruise lines again, generally pretty strong today. Gap, it's down a little bit after hours. The strong move right there. Let's see if we can get a push above today's highs. Depending on my pleasure, Keith, SRNE. Let's take a look. SRNE, yeah, nasty move down today on that one. Wow, look at that. Nasty down move, a little bit of a upper shadow. They try to buy it up in the end of the day, but let's see how that holds. SGMO, decent little breakout move right there over that prior pivot level. I like that. It's saying, no, I don't want anywhere in the cloud. So let's see if that gets a little move to the upside on that one. VXRT. VXR inside day after yesterday's crazy candle. So let's see if we break above those inside day highs. And then PLNT. Planet Fitness. Wow, yeah. So that was a huge. This thing was starting to break down out of the cloud the other day. Gave you kind of this reversal doji off of it, and then boom, gapped right back up into the cloud there. So with some big volume today. So let's see if we can still continue to hold that cloud support for today. Himanshu, what's going on? Good evening. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, let's take a look at Boeing. So Boeing is, it's trying right there, right? So it tight roped across the Gap Canyon right here today, and gave a little hammer off of the cloud here. So that was a nice intraday move. Now let's see if the hammer needs some follow through for sure. And then Facebook. Facebook, kind of a spinning top type day right there. So let's see how that holds over the ADMA on that one. So good stuff, Paul. Yeah, appreciate that. What's the retrace? What was the ticker again? Was it FSOY? Yeah, so I believe it was FSOY, right? So retrace here, from the lows. Here, 382. So if anything, more of like a wave 4, 382 retrace. But I mean, to me, it's still like looks like it's got some work to do. Angela, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Let's take a look. So Tesla with an inside day. Nice push up there. Got over the bump upper trend line there. So it's down a little bit after hours, but 30 points is 30 points on Tesla. So see if we can kind of climb its way up and get over those get over today's inside day highs. Nvidia hanging on to the ADMA, right? Nothing amazing, but it's kind of hanging over a choppy day. Let's see if I can get over today's highs and give another bounce on that. Semis were just generally weak today, except for AMD, which kind of maybe some reversal on this. So Teladoc, yeah, hanging in there as well. So it held the prior pivot high right here, right? And gave a lower shadow yesterday. Came back, retested those lows, and came back up with it. So pretty bullish right there. I just would like to have seen a little more volume on it. Brandon, what's going on? Good evening. How would the move on Gene today? Let's take a look. Whoa! Ended up being up 150% today. Looks like an option trade, right? So, huge move today. Crazy upper shadow on that one. That is fun, though. Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for tuning in, Brandon. Thanks for your support. Angela, SPLK. Let's take a look. It's trying. Still below that 8 day with a little kind of like crunched hammer up there. So, let's see if we can kind of get a little more strength to get back above that upper trend line. So good stuff. Clubs, what's going on? OMI. Decent gap up there today with some volume. Let's see if we get some action on that one. Pepsi. How did Pepsi do? We looked at Coke today. It was down. Yeah, Pepsi down too. So interesting shortable opportunities today in the caffeine names. Right, so look at that. Boom. Right, it's actually a little bit tighter than that. Boom, and then boom. Right, big downside move on this one and Coca-Cola today. Pretty cool stuff. And then MU. Still chopping. Chop. Just so choppy, right? So weekly chart, right? We had multiple inside weeks, another inside week right here. We got an outside week this week, but it's still just chopping in that range right there. Tough stuff on microwave, but it is holding the cloud. Looks a lot like Boeing's candle a little bit today. So good stuff. And kind of SMRT. SMRT with an inside day. Okay, so just kind of hanging in there. Any news after hours or anything like that? Let's take a look. Yeah, it's kind of hanging out there. It's kind of blah under the thin cloud. LCA. Yeah, just kind of doing its thing too. You really like these acquisition holding companies. FMCI, I think we already looked at. But yeah, so inside day holding the 50 moving average. Baggish, yeah, good evening. Good to see you. Facebook, let's take a look. The Facebook again, spinning top right there, still in the chop zone. Right, today was a good opportunity for it to make a move off the yesterday's highs, but it just kind of pulled back later. SE again, kind of nasty pullback. Still below the ADMA right there. Could be starting a reversal pattern right here, but I really want to see it close below yesterday's lows. And then PayPal. Yeah, that was one we were looking at too for an interesting type of bounce. We did have a low volume pullback the other day, right? But it was but it ended up getting some continuous. So we're into a trend box right now. Hammer yesterday with some volume. Kind of a pause day today. Let's see if we can get a little more action to the upside. Paul, yeah, wave 4, yeah, very potential on that one. But again, it was so sharp, though, it's like it doesn't seem like it's done yet. But the wave might be still contained with that for maybe a couple of weeks. We'll see what it has in store. MNK, yes, Malinkrat. Inside day up. Couldn't quite get above the cloud right there, but good volume today, so that was a nice one. And then NBRV. Good. A little upper shadow there below the ADMA on that one. Rich, yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, Paul's hooking it up, so hopefully a wave 5 up. I know, exactly. Hopefully. Let's go. On FSOI, yeah, exactly. Hopefully. Awesome, guys. Well, good stuff. I really appreciate everybody for tuning in this evening. So great discussion this week on earnings strategies. I hope everybody found it helpful. If you're new here, definitely subscribe on YouTube, and whether you're new here or not, definitely hit the like button. We always appreciate that. If you're interested in seeing more of our stuff, definitely check out the links in the description. It's got a link to our Twitter page where we post cool charts, and also it's a link to our website too, so you can see, if you feel like trading with us during the day, you can join our group there too in the options group. So good stuff, guys. I hope everybody has a great rest of your evening. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and stay healthy out there, and remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll talk to you guys soon.